let's move on to main topic number 3. This one also might be a little political, I'm sorry to say. But, we're going to talk about it because, we've been talking a lot about Splash Mountain recently, and even though this isn't necessarily just a Splash Mountain related issue, it's interesting because Disney, World has reopened. A lot of people say they shouldn't have reopened. I'm one of those people. But Disney World has reopened, and it's pretty clear that the Florida governor is not going to shut them down. And Disney is mandating that all guests wear masks, as well as all employees. And I agree with this policy, obviously. I'm definitely one of those people who will tell you straight to your face, wear your damn mask. It's not this complicated thing. I don't think everyone all of a sudden has like a breathing problem. It's like, just wear the mask and everyone will be fine. But I will give people this one, because this one I actually am a little conflicted about. Because when you go to Disneyland, one of the things you want to do is you want to ride a ride, and usually it's Splash Mountain, but sometimes it's, Screaming Over California, or, one of these other rides that take your picture. And you want a family picture as a souvenir of your trip, and you'll usually buy like a nice little frame to put it in. And so what people are doing is, especially if they've been there enough times, they know when the picture is going to be taken. So they've been taking off the masks for that moment to get their picture. Now, most people have actually been putting the masks back on. They just want a picture where their face isn't covered. And I completely understand that. I completely understand that because it seems kind of weird to be paying a lot of money for a photo that you can't even see your face. But Disney World is basically saying, no, that is not okay. If you remove your mask during the ride for the photo opportunity, you will not be getting your photo. So here's what People magazine says. No face covering, no ride photos. That's the rule at Disney World, which reopened on July 11th amid the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Along with numerous other new health and safety protocols, Disney is asking all guests aged 2 and older to wear a face mask at all times while inside their Florida parks, except for when drinking and eating or visiting one of the park's relaxation zones, which, by the way, on a side note, the relaxation zone is kind of an oxymoron. What that is that's an area where you can relax and take off your mask and kind of catch a breather. Where do you think the virus is going to be more likely to spread in the park? Just saying. Anyway, this includes while riding on any of the attractions. As a means of enforcing this rule, the company has decided that they will be refusing guests any on-ride photos. Think the picture snapped as you go over the falls of Splash Mountain, if they are captured without their masks. A representative for the park confirmed this news to CNN, adding that the rule is in line with the park's existing policy to deny guests their photos if they are doing something deemed unsafe on the attraction. Now, here's the thing. This is actually not completely a new policy. For those of you who might not be in the know, I'm going to share a little dirty little secret. So the show's about to get PG-13 rated for a moment as I share this story. But you want to know what Splash Mountain's nickname is with some people? Particularly cast members? It's Flash Mountain. And why is it nicknamed Flash Mountain? Because there are many instances a day where women, and sometimes guys, but primarily women, when they go over the Splash Mountain, because that's the easiest photo opportunity to spot, and they flash the camera. If you don't believe me, these photos are on the internet. And when that happens, all the photos are looked at through a cast member before they go to the world. And if someone on your ride flashed the camera, that photo will simply not show up. And if you wanted to buy a photo, you're allowed to re-ride the ride again. And hopefully the next people will be a little bit more cooperative. So there is precedent that Disney will not hand you your photo if you are violating a rule. Now, this is where I start getting a little bit more mixed, because again, I want to stress, I understand why you would not want a photo of you wearing your mask. And what harm could it be if, hey, you know when the photo's coming, you just take the mask off, you just want to buy your picture, right? I totally understand that, especially if the ride is nothing but you and your family. Here's Disney's dilemma in all of this. It's one of those things where it's like if you give someone an inch, they will go a mile. They've made it very clear you are to wear your masks in the park. You are not to take them off except for eating, drinking, and this relaxation area, which I also think is a bad idea, but, whatever. And if they start allowing photos out that shows people not following the rules, and these photos start making their way online, it says to a lot of people that they're not doing a very good job at enforcing the mask rule. And so then you might start seeing people show up, and they either won't be wearing the mask at all because they see that they aren't enforcing the mask rule in the photos, or they might go on the ride and say, but I can take my mask off on the ride, which they're not saying you can do that. So I do understand the dilemma on this one. I actually do not, in principle, have an issue with people who's like, hey, if I want to wear my mask, I'm going to wear it during the rides, walking around. I'm just going to follow the rules. But you know what? We do want a souvenir photo, and we're going to take it off just to get the photo. There are people who I think legitimately who would do that. But then you have those people who, will do it and flaunt it. They will take their picture, they'll say they're flaunting the rules, and heck, some people might even buy their photo early and then walk around the rest of the park going like, you're not enforcing the rules, I don't have to wear my mask. It's a very, very, very tricky situation for Disney to be in. And so I understand the frustration. My recommendation to people who want photos, I would reschedule your vacation to when the masks are not mandatory, because they won't be mandatory forever. And in fact, I don't even think that you should go to Disney World right now because you're paying full price for a third of the experience. It doesn't make any sense in my opinion. So that's my personal opinion on that, but I would like to know what your thoughts on that are. Do you think that Disney is overstepping their bounds a little bit? I mean, granted, it's their park, they can do whatever they want, but do you think that, this is, them being a little too stringent, or do you think that maybe there's a compromise in here? I would love to know. Personally, my compromise, here's what I think my compromise would be. I'll just share it right now. Maybe Disney should arrange a special photo package for Splash Mountain where, hey, if you, if you buy your photo up front, you buy it up front, you promise that you will be making a purchase of this photo, you can essentially have a appointment, if you will, where you will be given a, you'll be given like a ticket or something, and you can hand it to the cast member. They can mark it on their computers or something like that, and the photo will not show up with everyone else. But because you have bought that photo in advance, they are aware that you will be, not wearing your mask on the ride. But then who knows? Because once you start putting the photos online and they say, see, Disney's not really enforcing it that much, like it is a tricky situation, because unfortunately, as we learned with the reopening, you give people an inch, and in this particular case, they won't only go a mile, they'll go 100 miles. So anyway, I would like to know what you think about this. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly.